Good afternoon, this is Occupier Kaylin coming to you live from the south side of the Polk County Courthouse here in Des Moines, Iowa, where a couple of dreamers who were arrested during the so-called Freedom Summit, which was a Republican presidential candidate event put on by Iowa's Representative Steve King and his right-wing nuthead cohorts. And two were arrested and charged with trespass, and they have been in court for it. And so in a couple of minutes, this press conference plus rally will begin, and more people are arriving, and people are here and getting others to come out. So and there may be some more media here besides the three that are here. You might want to, someone might want to grab those. The wind just tried to take it.
Alright, if you guys could just scoot in just a little bit closer. We're going to wait for Eric. I'm going to go see if I can Eric on the
I'm adjusting my position just a little bit so that I can center the group more.
So the state finished today.
While I wait for this to begin, I want to give a shout out to any channels that may be picking up my feed and rebroadcasting it, whether it be Global Occupied News Network or Activist World News Now or any of the others that are on livestream.com. They pick up individual stream feeds from Ustream and Bamboozer and Twitcasting and mobile live stream, and rebroadcast them to widen their audience for the individual streamers and bring these events and actions worldwide. So a little background: the Dreamers are immigrants who were brought here as children, and they are trying to get legal status to avoid deportation. It was not their choice to come here. Their parents made the decision to bring their families here, and some were brought here as infants, so they definitely had no say in the matter. And they were raised as any other American would be. They go to school, they're trying to get jobs, they're trying to get higher education, they're trying to get health care. They're trying to live the American dream, which is pretty much non-existent now. And what President Obama has done was to use an executive order to give these dreamers a chance to try to at least get temporary status so they can work or continue their education and avoid deportation. After all, it was not their decision. should not be held accountable for a decision that their parents made.
Is it Mike okay, or should we move it down? I don't want to touch
Yeah, and
I don't want to touch the mic.
Sit down the whole time if you want to.
All right.
Now there's time. We're a little short people.
he's definitely not Wilt Chamberlain. So this may be in both English and Spanish.
Hey everyone, thank you for coming today. On behalf of Dream Iowa, we welcome you. My name is Hector Salamanca Arroyo. I'm a dreamer from Des Moines. I'm also a recent graduate from Drake University. And we are here in support of two nationally recognized dreamers, Cesar Vargas and Marcos Malagon, who both of them were arrested back in January at Steve King's Freedom Summit. And we are here to show them our support and showing how important this issue is for the state of Iowa. With that, I want to introduce Monica Reyes, who is the co-founder of Dream Iowa.
Hi everyone, my name is Monica Reyes. I am the co-founder of Dream Iowa, and I am here to support Cesar and Marco for basically exercising their constitutional right of freedom of speech, and I'm here to also take a stance against political oppressors. In Iowa, we have been raised with the tradition of being able to pressure politicians, especially since Iowa is such an essential state for the presidential race. And to me, immigration reform is a much needed reform. It is about keeping my own family together. I am an undocumented immigrant raised here in the United States, and I am in every way an American except on paper. So we live in the fear of being separated constantly, and we want to raise awareness and stand up to the politicians that try to break our families apart.
Woo! Thank you, Monica. I want to now take time to introduce Marco Malagon from Texas.
Thank you very much for hosting us. It is a great pleasure to be here in Iowa. Fortunately, not just to visit, but for hearing. But my name is, like I said, Marco Malagon from Mexico, Guanajuato. I currently live in Dallas, and I'm expecting a baby, so I'm trying to get this court hearing out of the way so I can be with my family. Unfortunately, once we were at this event, we were exercising freedom of speech, and then we got arrested for it. So we're calling the community to stand up for us, for our families that are being broken on a daily basis. We're here also to ask Iowans to ask presidential candidates about immigration reform. This is a topic that affects everybody, not just Hispanics and Latinos, but everyone in this country. And then we want to make sure that our families are given an opportunity to stay together and to give back to this beautiful country that we call home. So with that being said, I want to ask anybody that is going or is part of the political campaigns or goes to meet presidential candidates to ask them about immigration. What is their stand on immigration? Are they willing to deport families? We know that Representative Steve King would love to deport us, all of us. He doesn't care about any family at all. He doesn't care about his constituents. All he cares about, he's talking about how criminals and how many criminals are here. And we are those faces that he calls criminals. So we're here to actually acknowledge that this is the face that he calls criminals. This is the face that he calls somebody that doesn't deserve here. And I want to show the face to the Iowan people that said that, I'm not a criminal, and I would like to get an opportunity to give back to my community, and just an opportunity to be legal in this country and pay back for the studies and everything that this country has provided for me and my family. Thank you very much.
I would like now to take this opportunity to introduce Cesar Vargas.
Thank you so much, everyone. Today was a significant day because today we are demonstrating not just the faces of the undocumented community, the faces of dreamers, but we're also making sure that we are keeping Iowa as a state where the people, where the American people, anyone, regardless of where they come from, they have the opportunity to challenge politicians, to question them, to remind them that ultimately is what the people decide, not what special interest. We went to the Iowa Freedom Summit to simply ask a question from all the presidential candidates on their stances on immigration. We asked everyone from Donald Trump to Chris Christie and Governor Perry. For them, issue is a political issue, an extract issue. But for us, it's about our families. And if Citizens United is going to be putting this event together because for them money is speech, well, for what we're telling them is speech should be speech. And that is the power of what Iowans, this is the power of what the American people want. And today we had the opportunity to listen to the state bring out the arguments that we supposedly trespassed. But the facts and what the videos demonstrate is us literally coming into an event without sneaking in. We came into an event simply to ask questions, and we fully complied when we were told to leave. We left, we spoke with media, and yet there was a decision by Citizens United to arrest us, along with the approval of the organizers, including Congressman's staff. And what we're saying here is tomorrow we're going to be putting our defense to remind them that the law is the law, and the law demonstrates us exercising our constitutional right to freedom of speech. And I think for me it's very personal because the reason I came is because I'm also undocumented. I came to Iowa last January because I was telling this Governor Chris Christie, who signed on to the lawsuit that's stopping the president from implementing his executive orders on immigration to keep families together. My 70-year-old mother would have qualified, but unfortunately because of the delay, I am forced to break the news to tell her that she has to wait for her to see her parents' graveyards, who she was not able to see. So for me, this is something very personal. And it's very symbolic and very real for me to be here in front of the courthouse because this is a building where law is meant to be about justice. And actually just today, I received the news that I am going to be the first undocumented immigrant in New York State to be admitted to practice law. After 4 years, satisfying all the requirements, passing graduating law school, passing the bar exam, passing the character fitness exam, New York's going to recognize me as a licensed lawyer soon. And I look forward for the day, because for me, the reason I am here, the reason I was able to be a lawyer is because of the family, because of the community like here, all the amazing people that I was representing. These are the leaders. This is the reason that we are moving forward. And I'm going to dedicate this law license and this passion for the community that helped me grow and to keep families together. Thank you. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
When?
Now!
When?
Now!
Tomorrow?
No!
When?
Now!
When?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When?
Now!
Woo!
And with that, I want to thank every single one of you for coming out. Thank you for the different communities that came out. And on behalf of Dream Iowa, we want to say that we are not afraid to be out there to speak up about our personal issues and how it impacts Iowa. We are Iowans, we are dreamers, we are Americans, and we are aspiring to be doctors, to be teachers, to be lawyers. We are all aspiring to better this country, and we want to thank you for coming out and support today. With that, if you have any questions. Oh. And with that, on one final note, I want to bring Joa from Marshalltown to speak.
Hi, my name is Joa LaVille, and I'm from Marshalltown, from Immigrant Allies of Marshalltown. And in our community, immigration is about
We just
our
had a few more
communities,
people
it's about
arrive
families, and
with
it's
some
about
excessively
literally
cute
about
kids.
love. And to me, this sign is about a fierce love that motivates people to stand up for other people. Every single one of these people up here is showing that fierce love right now. And it really, immigration reform really is about love. It's about the love for families that we don't want separated and allowing people to give back the way that so many of these young people do. So we need immigration reform now. Thank you.
One chant that is commonly used
With
for
that,
these
I wanna
things,
thank everyone for
sin
coming
papeles,
out. If
sin
you have any
miedo,
questions,
undocumented,
Feel free to
unafraid.
ask. And thank you once again for coming out.
Probably do one-on-one interviews if that's here. Is it okay if we do one-on-one interviews?
Yep.
I will keep the stream up as I do these interviews, and these people will remain here.
First, can you go ahead and say
So I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. Gracias por venir. It means a lot, not just for the national Dreamers, but for me as well, growing up in the state of Iowa, for Monica as well. Just to know that we have this basis of
Now,
support.
one question I had.
You know, even though immigration reform didn't happen 2 years ago, it doesn't mean we're done. I know for us in Dream Iowa, we're focusing on education, reaching out to other Latino, specifically Latino youth, and showing them that just because you don't have that paper or that documentation that says you're a citizen, doesn't mean that should limit your higher education aspirations or professional aspirations.
What do you?
Sin papeles, sin miedo.
You sin papeles sin miedo. Without papers, without fear. I want to thank you once again for coming.
For us, we went there.
Okay. If you want to go out and eat, just let us know. We're going to celebrate Cesar Vargas' accomplishment as the first undocumented lawyer in New York.
Ask a question that matters to my family, that matters to the community in general. For me, it's not an abstract question. It's a question for me. It's about my family. It's about me. And if people, there's supporters can get up and execute and disrupt them and approve, then I'm sure that as politicians, as elected officials, they should expect the community and everyday Americans to challenge them and question them when it comes to important questions that I'm Well, right now we are the state of Iowa presented their case. They brought the police officers. They brought the people that were supposed to be there. Again, they said they stayed back and they didn't comply. And yet there's video of us literally being told to leave and us walking out willfully. We were not. We did not refuse to be inside the event or sat down and just refused to stay. We just complied. And what the reason the police report is that Citizens United actually demanded that we would be placed under arrest.
It just went from that to more of a political, but it's just, Dreamers, allies, friends, family members that are trying to push for immigration reform, but raise awareness not only within our own community.
Well, absolutely. Congressman Steve King has had some of the most vitriolic rhetoric, and rhetoric that has been offensive to a lot of the Latino electorate. He compared Latino immigrants to dogs. He has compared Dreamers like myself as drug runners that we have the size of cantaloupes because we came here to pretty much transport drugs, which is not the truth. For us, we came here to seek better life like many people and like many Iowans before. So for us, Steve King has demonstrated that for him it's not about the issue, for him it's about politics, and really for him to bring a lot of extreme rhetoric.
To just be part of our group.
No, and we're talking about fees and
No fees. No. Everything, Great Republic, anytime we do meetings, because we also do informational meetings about what's going on with the immigration system to Latinos, and that is super free every time we offer one of those. We're starting our website because soon enough we're going to be coming out with our own, we're finalizing our first Dream Iowa documentary, focusing on some of the founders of Dream Iowa and some of the most involved members of Dream Iowa.
it's not based on anything, so like
This month, for sure. Yeah, it's pretty soon. We're just
And this is the reality that, a lot of people that, get charged with, jump a line or driving without a license, and that's their fate. So, once they get booked, they get picked up, there you go. Appreciate it. Enjoy your...
Hola, chiquitos. Hola, chiquitas.
I know, you guys so lucky how like everything goes like right on for you, imagine.
I think someone is wanting to take a little snooze.
Oh yeah. She's sleeping.
Hola, chiquita. Eres bonita. Eres bonita. These little kids that I'm getting close-ups of are also in this predicament. Even if they were born there, there is a possibility, if some Republicans get their way, children of undocumented immigrants could be deported even if they were born in this country. And so there is that struggle. And this is also not just for the Latino community. This is for any immigrants. You know, the mosque that I go to is populated by immigrants and descendants of immigrants from Africa and Asia and Europe, mainly Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia or Serbia. And some of them are undocumented, and sometimes their children may be undocumented even if they were born here. So this issue is for them as well, not just for the Latino community.
Everybody here, we're all
People are just hanging out here. Apparently some are going to go nearby to a place to eat. Hey, you! Pretty good? Yeah. Hola, chiquito. Eres guapo. Eres guapo. There is such a lot of, there's so much cuteness here. It was a press conference. The two defendants kind of outlined the state's case and how bogus it was because of the fact that the video contradicts. They submitted video evidence. They entered the building just along with everyone else without trying to sneak in, and they simply asked their questions, made their presence known about, raised the issue of immigration, and that's when the people running the event, the so-called Freedom Summit, one of them arrested and charged with trespass. At least it was just trespass and nothing else. And so Citizens United, the same boogerheads that got the Supreme Court to basically give corporations and the 1% the ability to buy our political process. And they're, along with Steve King, are the ones that put that thing on. And so so the defense will present their case tomorrow. And oh yeah, so they're giving interviews now. So that's what's up with that. Yeah. By the way, I still got 2 white sheets if you ever need them for banners or for if you want to rip them for like dye-in cloths or anything like that. So, okay. Yep. Hello. That was updating Kaya Carter, local Black Lives Matter activist
It's a very simple case that
and a victim of racial profiling,
Citizens United
about what's going on.
My name's
I
Jen.
know, we'll make lots of
Bill is L-A capital I-L-L-E.
Now, why is this important for you to go out here and for this cause?
Well, it's important to me because immigration reform is so urgently needed by so many of my friends, neighbors, colleagues, and so many people that I know in Marshalltown that I've seen hurt by a broken immigration system for years and years and years. So we've been working on this for a long time. It's also important to me because I'm a former journalist and as a public librarian, the freedom of speech is really important to me. And I think if we get to a point where we can't ask hard questions of politicians of all sides, then we're really going to be in trouble as a society. So for both of those reasons, I wanted to come out and support the guys that are really rock star leaders in the DREAM movement nationally. I work at the Marshalltown Public Library. Oh, I worked at the Story City Herald. Small newspaper. Yeah.
This organization, you mentioned an organization.
Immigrant Allies of Marshalltown is sort of what some of us are involved with. It's just it's a community organization that's just a bunch of people that are concerned about those issues. So we do education and we help people negotiate, how to, like with DACA, how to apply, but we also do a lot of informational programs for the community in general to understand issues and get people to know each other and know their stories.
What do you say to people who obviously there are people who how do you make your case to them, or what do you think?
I think the best way to make a case for immigration reform is simply if people get to know immigrant families. It takes care of itself when people realize that these are people that are just doing exactly what I'm doing and what everybody's doing. They're trying to take care of their families. They're trying to work hard. The dreamer kids, they're trying to go to school. They're trying to have a future. They're trying to give back to their community. And, that's what this is about. And also, if you just study the data as a librarian, data statistically, and the data just shows it's just good for our country. I mean, just from an economic standpoint, it's good for our country. It strengthens our communities. So I think those are both really compelling arguments. Okay? Try not to make me sound like a
You done great. You done great. Yep, I'll go this way.
So there was.
Excuse me?
Sure.
Can you say you spell your name?
MonicaReyes.
Monica Reyes. And you're the co-founder of
Dream Iowa.
Okay. Now, where do you live?
I live in Waterloo, Iowa.
Waterloo, Iowa.
And I'm a student at the University of Northern Iowa.
And you mentioned that, that you're undocumented.
Yes.
Do you fear at all repercussions, for that?
Well, I mean, I was brought here when I was 3 years old. So technically, Spanish was my first language, but English was my dominant language. And I lived with the fear of being separated from my family at all times. You don't know what it's like to be raised in that unless you actually are. Knowing that at any point your family could be separated. I've heard so many cases of, friends, family of people that have gotten deported, and for simple things like getting pulled over or having a tail light out or something like that. I was raised like that. And my whole life, I lived with that fear that just a simple pulling over would be me getting deported and being sent to a country that I do not, I'm not familiar with, and I don't know how to maneuver through. So I was raised like that, and when DACA came around in 2012, that burden was lifted off my shoulders for myself. But we still live as a family. I live in a mixed status family where some of them are U.S. citizens, and the rest of us are undocumented. And it's basically half and half. And we constantly live with that fear that our mom could be taken by ICE at any point and deported, or that DACA could be taken
ICE
away from
is
the national,
Immigration and Customs
president.
Enforcement.
And our family is completely ripped apart. And it's not something that I wish our community, the undocumented community or Latinos, had to deal with, had to live with that. It really does restrict us from having upward mobility and from accomplishing a lot of our dreams. 24.
Is your family here?
Yes, my family is here. Yeah, thank you. Yep, thank you. Have a good day.
I've been here last month.
Basically, anyone that's running for president, we're supposed to go to their events.
For DACA and my role, and then
Or that they're supposed to train people to go to those events as well. Okay.
Hector is describing the bird dog training, which I streamed one. There's only a couple there, but as this process goes on, as the campaign goes on, then more people will be trained to do the actual bird dogging. Bird dogging is going to candidate events, and during the QA sessions, people will pop up questions that the candidates have never spoke on or released statements on, such as their stance on immigration, their stance on the military-industrial complex, their stance on religious freedom, their stance on social benefits for the disadvantaged,
What events are you going to?
or their stance on education funding or education policy, curricula, things like that. So that's what they do, and sometimes they're successful in getting their questions off, sometimes not, and sometimes they're arrested for doing it. But that is what bird dogging is, and more of these training sessions will come up around the state as well as around the country. And, so I covered recently 2 bird dogs in Ames, Bernie Sanders, and here in Des Moines with Martin O'Malley. And I will no doubt attend more of these as time goes on, along with other events that I will find to stream. Yeah, we've got a nice breeze going here. It's just kind of waiting to figure out if people will go collectively somewhere to go have supper.
Let's find somewhere to eat.
Do you know this area real well? This Court Avenue area, like up the street?
Where do you recommend?
Should we go back to, because we have till 6:45, I bet we could just go hang out in the theater space and people could get stuff at Java Joe's.
Yeah, I mean, that's Java Joe's is around the corner. There's other places on Court Avenue, all the way up to the river. Fong's Pizza
Should we do Java Joe's and see if we can use the theater space? Is that okay? And then we'll hang out there for 45 minutes. People can get coffee and sandwiches. And then
Yeah, Java Joe's does serve food.
And then we go to the theater and Java Joe's. Thank you for live streaming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Java Joe's. We're going to start
Okay.
Ellos van a Java Joe's. Java Joe's. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's your sign.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you going to tell people? Yeah.
So it looks like people are going to Java Joe's, which, believe it or not, is one place that occupiers were kicked out of during a Republican event, as well as some were arrested. There you go.
Thank you all first so much for coming. We really appreciate for all the support. We're going to go to Java Joe's.
Java Joe's.
Java Joe's. One of them. Java Joe's, which is around the corner for us. We have a space there that we can all hang out. And if you know, I'm sure. Thank you all so much for. I think you all drove like a few hours, so we want to just go there for us to relax, hang out, and there's stuff that we can just order there, and we can just eat and just simply.
I cheated. Bus pass.
All right. I like her style. All right.
He said.
Well, I guess I have to bring this now.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and shut my stream down. But before I do that, I want to thank you for watching, and I ask you to give me a little support so I can continue to bring you these events live and uncensored. And it's easy to do. You can go to GoFundMe.com/OccupierKaylin. That's KAYLYNN. Again, www.gofundme.com/OccupierKaylin. Or if you cannot access GoFundMe or you do not have a currency that it supports, you can go to PayPal. www.paypal.com, and in the send money to line, enter the email address strainsop@aol.com. Again, www.paypal.com, and in the send money to line, enter the email address strainsop@aol.com. That will help me cover the cost of my live streaming and broadcasting, so I can continue to bring in these events live and uncensored, uncut, unless I have a signal break or I got to change batteries or devices. And
anyway, congratulations on the story.
Thank you.
So that will help me out a lot. I haven't had a donation for a little while, so if you can kick me a little something, and if you can't give me any money, please share my donation pages around. Share my stream URLs around if you're watching on Ustream. And also thank streamers wherever they may be. Support streamers wherever they are. We are the new media. We're the ones who do what the mainstream media chooses not to do or chooses to spin through their propaganda blender. And
I gotta show you the video. You too.
So also, my next stream opportunity will be from St. Paul, Minnesota at tar sands protest up there. Some Iowans and Nebraskans and others will be joining Minnesotans up there in St. Paul to protest tar sands and maybe throw a little pipeline protesting in the process, and that's what I'll be doing next. So I'll really be burning date on that. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the stream.